EP.
Beep, beep.
EP, beep.
Beep. Moop. Boop,
What?
beep.
Beep, boop.
Beep, moop.
Why the hell did I let myself get scheduled for like an evening stream and then this?
Yeah, that was a dumb idea. I blame myself. I'll take that. I'll take that L.
I'm into that. I'll be fine.
I didn't when you because I'd already signed you up for this, and then
I definitely did want to do this.
Yeah, and then you were like, I'll take that Wednesday night slot, and I was like, cool, and then I was like, and then yesterday I was like, oh, that's bad.
Oh, well.
But hey, we're back. It's the morning. It's day whatever it is. Thursday. It's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. And it's another episode of Coffee with James and Friends. This morning, Alex.
Hello.
Hello.
I brought coffee.
Yeah. I have some warm coffee, and then what are you making?
You can have some cold coffee. This is Vietnamese iced coffee. There's a word for it, but I probably don't know how to pronounce it, which is shameful because I drink a lot of this stuff. The joke that I say is that when the Vietnamese kicked the French out, they kept the bread, pate, and coffee.
Okay.
And I think maybe some of the architecture.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is good stuff.
So what's the process? What's happening?
So it's what we have is these are called a fin filter, which is like a little chamber with some coffee in it, and there's a little screen pressing it down.
Yeah.
And you fill that with hot water over top of a glass that has a little bit of condensed milk in the bottom.
Ah.
And once these are finished dripping through, we'll take the top off, stir them, and add them to this generous cup of ice, and we'll have a nice iced coffee.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I definitely need the coffee. Yesterday was a long day. How was Shipbreaker last
It was fun.
night?
I got talking about metallurgy and stuff like that. It was fun.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, hey, I should probably remind everybody this is a Sub-A-Thon. I'll give my spiel and then we'll get into the topics of the morning.
A Sub-A-Thon.
I don't have any topics. Anyways, hey, look at that. Super Penguin just resubbed for 65 months. Thank you so much, Super Penguin. Any time you sub or resub or gift a sub or use your Prime sub at any time this week before that timer runs out, you will add 1 minute to the sub timer. We have capped. We are a responsible group of humans. we do not want to be here for an extended period of time. Red Shoes Jeff, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. You'll notice right in a second that should jump up to 34. Hell yeah, thank you, friend. Appreciate it. So yeah, we wanted to do a subathon again. Last year was a lot of fun, but we still don't want to do this forever, and we've got stuff to do, and so we capped this at 5 days.
The really smart thing was putting a tape deck on overnight.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the clutchest
Yep.
of all clutches.
Yep.
It's just like, hey, let's not be goblins.
Yeah, and because 2 a.m. is it's late, but there's enough people here who stay up that late anyways. I mean, it's basically Graham and Beej who are the only ones who on the till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I think they're pretty used to staying up that late.
Yeah.
And then we
Shockingly,
get to just go.
I have been turning in really early. So
To bed?
Oh yeah.
And turning into a morning person?
Don't you? What the hell did you just call me?
Hold on. So what's really early in the morning? Or really early to bed?
Sometimes 10 or 11.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I think that might actually just be normal human time.
I mean, it's certainly it's definitely the sort of conventional human time.
Yeah, but I don't think I'll ever be a morning person. I do enjoy visiting morning, but it's not where I dwell.
It's not where you dwell. That's fair. I've become a big fan of the morning. I kind of like how quiet it is.
Yeah.
It's just very peaceful.
I made pretty crazy time on my way over here.
Right.
Normally I take a sort of a circuitous route, but this time I was just like...
No traffic.
Yeah, there's just no traffic.
It's cool, too, in the summer. It's not dumbass hot.
Fresh baked goods sometimes.
Hell yeah.
Like, there was something I was doing when I was coming here to the office in the morning where I just grabbed some like, I think it might have even been for my stream. I just like got Mount Royal bagels.
They're really good.
Pretty good.
Bagels are good. Oh, I'll finish my thing. 400 bits too. Also works. 400 bits or anything above that will also add to the sub timer. And again, yeah, so we're going to Saturday. It is Thursday, so that means what, we got 2 and a bit more days. Right now it looks like we're going to be wrapping up later this evening, although I am sure that will probably go up over the course of the next 16 hours and 45 minutes, so I'm not super concerned, but hey, right now I get to sleep in tomorrow, so that's nice.
Baby.
But yeah, so I've started every morning, the last 2 at least morning, with the same question.
What's that?
What was your childhood like?
Oh, man. You fucked up.
It very quickly veers off that, but I jokingly asked Adam, and it kind of worked, and then I asked Cameron and Jacob the other day, and, conversations went.
I mean, gosh, what's there to say growing up around Ken, actually my dad, Stacy? It's kind of weird. I sometimes feel a little bit out of place among normal people because I actually had a pretty good childhood.
I mean, so did I.
I got all my trauma later in life. But, like my setup was pretty good. Like I born in Toronto, Ontario, and we moved, my family moved here to the island when I was 5. And I lived here till I was about 20, and then I went back to Toronto for a while, and then I came back here. And I've been here for quite some time.
A while now.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was pretty good. Like, growing up with my younger brother in a, like, well-curated house of weird nerd shit.
Yeah.
Getting exposed to a lot of variety of nerd shit, like from all over the place. Because like I got to read, like French comics and European comics, and I guess Tintin's technically Belgian.
Yes, which was cool because I was just there.
In Belgium.
In
the
Brussels.
mayo fries?
Yeah. And Tintin is everywhere.
Really?
In Brussels.
Man.
Well,
yeah. I mean,
they like their Tintin.
I'm sure. I think they get pissed off when people say that Hergé was French.
Yeah.
He's fucking Belgian.
Yeah. Let them have this.
Yeah. No, those are fond memories. Like I'm trying to think what some highlights of stuff was. Like his comics jumps to the forefront. So it was like Tintin, Asterix and Obelix.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else? I think I managed to sneak a peek into a couple Mobius books, maybe a little earlier than I should have.
A little earlier, yeah.
I was just like, what's this thing that Ian call? Huh? Obviously, like Calvin and Hobbes, Far Side, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was very cool. And like, just my dad has has very good taste in like tchotchkes and ephemera and stuff, and he collects like toys and so forth. And I, grew up through his sort of like heyday of being a collector. He's since like way downsized.
Yeah.
But our whole place used to be full of stuff. Like we would have everything from like a cabinet full of toys and figurines from like the 60s onward to like an inert like guided missile in the corner that was just like a thing that we had. It was very cool.
Wait, so then what is it like? Was he pretty like don't touch my shit, or
not really? Like,
okay.
Like he wasn't. He's definitely the like take it out of the package and play with it.
Yeah.
And then like put it on a shelf.
And put it on a shelf. Yeah.
And he wouldn't be like, don't touch my stuff. It's like I think it was implicit, that you don't, break it, obviously.
Yeah.
And of course we would get our own toys. In fact, like the best example of that being, did you ever get the Crash Test Dummies toys?
My friends did. I remember them, but yeah.
That was a bold move.
Yeah.
They was this actually like anything to do with a car company? I can't remember if they just like created a whole cloth. This was like, I hesitate to say anthropomorphized because crash test dummies are already anthropomorphized, but they were like cartoon characters who were crash test dummies.
Yeah.
You know, the guys with the sort of like blank face, they almost look like our C-3PO.
Yeah.
You know, sort of, and you know the little markings on them. And the toy line was very interesting because it was like a regular sort of sized action figure, except when you hit these little buttons in their chest, all their limbs and head would pop off.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you would get a bunch of other stuff. Like there was a car that had like a sort of like pre-built crumple zone where you could like smash it into a wall and it would sort of fold, and then you could unfold it.
I do not remember that. That's dope.
It was very cool. You know, you'd like put the guys in there and you'd like just slam it into the wall. Yeah, it was good fun. There's lots of weird toys. Actually, growing up in the 90s, you probably remember some of this stuff. Like, it was a weird time for toys.
The 90s was wild.
Yeah, in hindsight, it was very peculiar. Do you remember all the, like, gross out stuff?
Oh, yeah.
For a while in the 90s, somebody decided that marketing gross branded stuff to kids was a great idea.
Yeah.
So you get like all sorts of like goopy slime and like, you know, weird jelly creatures and crap like that. And of course, like, you know, my dad would find like even within that kind of sphere some kind of esoteric stuff. Like, did you ever see that, like the Barfo family candy?
Yep.
Oh man,
Yep.
that was that is maybe like peak 90s. Like, it's such a concentrated, like, what the hell were they thinking? So if you're not familiar, the Barfo family candy was it was these little sort of corrugated tubes. They almost look like, you know, on a heart and lung machine, the like bellows that goes like that. Yeah, so they're sort of like corrugated and they're filled with like candied jelly, and on top was like a plastic head, and you could get all the like, there was like 4 or 5 family members. It was like mom, dad, kid, dog, sister, I think. And you would like push it upwards and the candy would squirt out their mouth and you'd eat it. You would eat vomit candy. Yeah, it was like, very strange.
Who was made, like, because you think back and you're like, okay, so the 90s were this weird time especially for kids' toys. And you're thinking, okay, it was probably a bunch of, you know, 30 to 50-year-old, you know, ad executives who are coming up with this crap. And it's just like, why? What happened in the 60s and 70s when you were raised that you grew up and were like, this is what kids want? Drugs, yeah.
I mean, I feel like the 90s were maybe the kind of, you know, binge of the 80s, like wearing off. And they were just like, was 90s when like they were getting into sort of like designer drugs?
I mean, because
I associate something with every era. Like 60s was, you know, LSD.
Yeah.
70s was it was still, well, no, it was less LSD. It was like I don't know why. I think of the 70s and it's like whiskey. And like the 80s I associate with cocaine, of course.
Yeah.
Then the 90s are like,
I guess, yeah, they're all starting to sober up, and these are the ideas that are coming to them.
I guess so.
Oh, I didn't turn the music on.
But yeah, it is also the era of kids' toys based on profoundly adult movies. It's like RoboCop becoming a sort of children's brand is pretty funny if you've seen the movie. So I'll let you stir yours. These should be basically done. Just give that a stir until it's pure satisfaction. And then,
Thick.
oh yeah, that's the business. And I tend to let it chill for a bit myself. Yeah, Toxic Crusaders. I just rewatched the Toxic Avenger, like the movie that started that whole thing. Because there's a studio called Troma, who I think got their start in the 80s, and they sort of like progressed through the 90s, and I think probably petered out towards the latter half of that. But they made some gnarly stuff, and like the Toxic Avenger is not a movie for kids.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's I don't know. I don't think I can recommend it.
Now I want to see what it even just looks like.
Yeah, well, I mean, the premise is like this nerdy guy, like super geek, who works mopping floors at a gym. Everybody hates him because they're all jocks, and they prank him so hard he jumps out a window into a drum of toxic waste, which mutates him into a superhero. You know, that whole, I didn't realize this, but like that whole idea of like toxic waste, I think was an outgrowth of the 70s, because it was like the big news things. It's like you had these corroding 55-gallon drums of stuff. Like this, I think it was the kind of pre-EPA days.
Yeah. Wait, they made a new one?
They spun that off a lot.
So from 84 was the original.
Yeah.
Part 2 was in 89. Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, was also in 1989.
Yep.
And then there was an 11-year gap, and that's when Citizen Toxie: The Toxic Adventure 4 came out.
Yep.
But then, literally last year, The Toxic Avenger came out. Is this a remake? Peter Dinklage? What the what? Kevin Bacon? Elijah Woods? What is this?
I'm gonna have to watch this, I guess.
Is this even out yet? September 21st. What the what?
It always shocks me. But
And it's got 91% on Rotten Tomatoes? Holy hell.
what the shit?
What is going on?
I don't know, man. But yeah, it's definitely one of those sort of like.
It's been deemed unreleasable? Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Wait, they didn't. What?
Nobody has picked it up for distribution. That's amazing. God, this is why I wish I was extremely wealthy, because I would definitely do that.
Oh yeah, that would be 100%.
That's the kind of crap that I would definitely do. Would be fund movies that should not be funded.
That will also like all these projects that made it to like completion, but for dumbass legal reasons.
Yeah, they just don't.
Are just shelved.
Yeah.
That hurts me deeply.
Yeah.
Like that's actually not. I don't think that that's something that would happen to me, but that's like my worst nightmare.
Damn, that's good.
Right?
Wow. Nobody else has come to Coffee with James with yummy coffee. Alex wins.
Yeah, I'll have to hook you up. I might actually just like leave some of this paraphernalia here.
So do these? It's just water filtering through.
Yep.
Like there's no pressure, right? It's just
No, the
gravity.
The
drip
trick is you put in about 2 spoons of coffee.
Yeah.
And then you lightly compress it.
Okay.
By putting the top on, and then you put in a little bit of water and wait a second for the grounds to swell.
Yep.
And then you fill it, and it just drips through.
Okay, cool.
So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it pisses me off so much whenever like stuff gets completed, and then it's like, oh, we can't release this.
I mean, why
And you're
create
also-
art only not to share it with the world?
Yeah.
In those cases, it's rare that the people creating it don't want to share it.
Oh yeah.
It's not really up to them. It's up to the the bean counters and the executives.
But I mean, I guess what sort of surprises me is like I'm shocked that nobody seems to like leak these things, because it's like fuck it.
Yeah, just get it out there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not privy to the circumstances, and that's the thing about motion pictures that's always like a sort of a conundrum, because they're by design or maybe by necessity, a collaborative process for everything that entails. And so it's just like, it's like this balance between like vision and logistics. And, you know, sometimes one does not meet the other. So, I mean, I was a little surprised, you know, not so much in hindsight. I took a special effects course many years ago, and one of the things that the guy teaching it said was that the different departments on a movie shoot will kind of fight for their share of the budget, which in some cases I guess would imply that it's just like, we're going to try and justify some nonsense that the movie doesn't really need, but you know, we want a payday. I was like, that doesn't sound like a good way to make a movie. Actually, I mean, it sounds like a very, you know, that's, you know, that's the business, baby.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that is one of the reasons why technology over the last while has been so revolutionary. Actually, I mean, we kind of have it to thank for all this existing.
Yeah.
When those things started getting into the hands of you know, regular consumers like you and I, it was pretty cool. I mean, we have a lot of extraordinarily powerful tools at our fingertips. The sort of implementation and sort of, you know, use of them is still its own challenge, but you know, the opportunity is there.
Yeah, the opportunities are there. Yeah, for sure. Ben is asking if you've seen Hundreds of Beavers yet.
No idea.
I haven't either, and I know I need to. Have you seen the trailer for it?
I don't know what that is. I mean, I was going to be rude and be like, I mean, I don't know what my body count is. But
You should definitely. I've only seen the trailer. I understand that it is. Yeah. I don't even know how you can watch it in Canada. I mean, the answer just might be Ian's Plex server, but
we'll find a way.
yeah.
It's an indie film that is so entirely itself. Cool.
How did we meet?
That's a good. Okay, when did I first meet you? Because
So, we both went to Oak Bay, right?
yes.
But you're a couple years older than I am.
yes.
But I think we did sort of meet there in passing. Like,
yeah. Did I meet you through Graham, or were you like?
I think it was through Graham. Well, how did
sounds-
you meet Graham?
I think also he was like an excellent person at Oak Bay, but again, like he was, you know, several grades below me, so I think I like knew of him because, you know, it's hard to miss Graham. He's so fucking tall. And then I sort of like fell out of touch a little bit when I, you know, moved away, but I think I retained an interest in the website. I became your guys' foreign correspondent for a while, so I would do like bits of content for the site from Ontario.
Yeah, like we didn't really, like, I don't remember ever like spending or hanging out with you a tremendous amount
No, we
until
weren't-
you came back
yeah.
to Victoria, which was like, I don't know, 15 years ago now, probably.
I think that was 2009,
Yeah, so
thereabouts.
yeah. Because you came back around the time we started playing Magic again.
Oh God, I think that was 2010.
We
Like,
started playing Magic again in 2010, around this time, like late summer 2010. So it's almost been 14 years.
Good God. It's a lot of sets they've released.
But yeah, I think that's probably just how we met. Yeah, because you started doing stuff for us while you were in Toronto, and then when you came back, you just sort of integrated right in.
Pretty much, you know, I think I fit in reasonably well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we made that joke in
right.
It's Magic.
Tim like
Where
left.
Tim left and you
And I was
just
like,
whoop, and it's just like, well, Alex is here now.
That's so funny. God, actually, like, sort of speaking of Magic, did you guys, have you gotten to discuss the road trip in 2007 on this show yet?
Oh God, no.
Oh, baby.
I think we could. Adam and I definitely could have talked about it on the first
I'm
day.
so lucky. That was, holy shit, unforgettable. So, in 2007, whose idea was it? Surely Graham's, right?
So, okay. So the backstory here is in 2007 we made. Was it 2007 that Talk Like a Pirate came out? I think. Or maybe it was late 2006, because Talk Like a Pirate Day is in September, I want to say. So Talk Like a Pirate came out, I guess, late 2006, and we ended up, I think, submitting it to a couple film festivals, and it got into the San Diego Comic-Con Short Film Festival.
That's crap.
Which is just
wild.
Yeah, which is just wild to think of. And I don't really remember how we went from, hey, we got to film into San Diego Comic-Con to, hey, let's buy a short bus.
We were young.
This is definitely not something you would do now. Stick 10 guys?
That was 10 guys.
I think it was 10 guys into the short bus and drive all the way from Victoria to San Diego in the middle of summer.
With no air conditioning.
With no air conditioning.
And later finding out that none of us were properly licensed to drive that vehicle.
Correct, yeah. The two guys who did drive, which was Matt and our old buddy Ben Wilkinson.
Right.
Probably, I don't think we're technically supposed to be driving that thing.
That was fine.
It was fine.
My favorite detail about them being drivers was the way the bus was set up, the transmission was like right next to their knee.
Yeah.
And it was burning hot. So we formed a chain gang of people that were soaking shop towels in the ice water from the cooler, and we would drape them over their exposed leg because everybody was wearing shorts because it was hot in the summer. And by the time we like laid the new one, like the old one had like evaporated and got dry.
We did film it, by the way. Like Hawk Ton Baby, you said, and not film it? Oh, there is.
Oh, we filmed it. We just
so much footage.
It's just never been edited.
So
and there's a lot of.
It has been worked on over the years to the point where, like, I'm pretty sure it's still like we use a task management software, and I'm pretty sure it has its own card. And like Matt's been chipping away at it a little bit. I think there's a couple problems, which is one, you gotta find the narrative in hours and hours of footage, and two, there is probably a lot of stuff on that in there that we would just not release nowadays.
Yeah.
No excuse, but it was 2007 and we were in our young 20s and we probably said crap that we definitely wouldn't want and definitely wouldn't say today.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I'm positive. That there would have
just
been
dumb stuff. It's not like we're going on racist tirades or anything. Like, I'm not suggesting that, but just dumb, stupid, childish language that we would definitely not want to, put out in the world. So yeah, I would love to try to put something out there at some point. I think it would be fun, even if it was just like a 15-minute cool video, like just a cool little 15-minute video, which would be kind of fun. But we filmed a lot.
Yeah. Well, okay, you remember very early on in that road trip, we established the point system?
Yeah.
Which was just like, we arbitrarily decided that you could score points by doing stuff.
Yeah.
And what that entailed ended up being virtually anything. And the escalation that took was absurd.
Yeah.
Because like very early on, it was like, okay, Morgan, you have to speak in a thick Canadian accent as you order from this.
I remember that one.
This Taco Bell.
Yeah.
We definitely have footage of that.
Yeah.
I want to say like, surely Adam won that one.
Yeah. So the game was, you could reward people. You could challenge somebody to do something, and you could reward them with 1, 2, or 3 points. And anybody could sort of pile on, right? You could challenge Matt to do this for 2 points. And if anybody else is excited to see Matt do this stupid thing, probably, they can also chip in 2 points. There was no limit to how many points we had.
It was very informal.
It was very informal. It was very silly. But yeah, the famous sort of. I'd be actually curious, really quickly. In fact, rather than typing in chat, if there's a mod who wants to make this a poll.
Oh.
I'm just curious, how many of you watching right now have never even heard or, have never heard about this entire trip?
Oh,
because we've talked about this over the years a bunch. I'd be curious to know if there's many people here watching right now who just have never heard of this trip that we took that we're talking about. I'm always curious about that information. So yeah,
Absolutely.
If there's a mod and you'd want to run a quick poll, we did talk about it on the 20th podcast, so I'd be curious. So yeah, you could challenge the person, and then Adam basically took it and ran with it, because we always said, like, okay, well, what would actually be worth 3 points, where everybody would be willing to chip in 3 points?
It's like, I don't know, something stupid like getting a tattoo.
Yeah, and he did that.
To be fair, it was like a perfectly sensible tattoo.
It was. There was a funny bit where he walked into this random tattoo shop and asked for the original NES controller on his ankle. It's like right down here.
Like,
yeah. But the best part and the great part of that story is that they had to go and look what that looked like. Where it's just like, oh no.
Man, that really dates it. It's not like how Morgan has a tattoo on his, I think also on his ankle, of my artwork.
Oh yeah, that's right.
From Desert Bus.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's very flattering. I've actually designed a couple of tattoos over the years. In fact, that's a thing that I do for hire occasionally. But that one definitely sticks in my mind. It was like a picture of like a desert bus, like Tokyo drifting sideways.
Yeah. Yes wins with 66%. So a third of you have never heard about this story. That's wild. So yeah, we got into the film festival, and then one thing led to another, and it turned into this big road trip.
Yeah, we pooled our money, and we got, like, when we say a short bus, like, actual, like, yellow short bus that we purchased from, its previous owners were, like, a Catholic school or
I think so, yeah. So we found it, like, up island in a used car lot. I think it cost us $5,000 to buy this thing.
That sounds about right.
And then we spent another couple $100, like, tricking it out.
Oh my God, I can still I smell the air freshener now.
Yeah, like we bought decals to put on, like we had like the Loading Ready Run logo on it, and we bought stuff for the interior to kind of dress it up a little bit.
There were some camera mounts as well.
Yeah,
I think.
There were camera mounts so that we could like mount the camera while we were driving and stuff like that. And yeah, so I don't remember like why it turned into this big trip, but we just thought it would be fun. And so it was a 2-week trip where I don't remember the exact timeline, but we drove all the way from here down the West Coast. I can't remember where we all stopped. I know that we spent some time in LA because some of the guys went to, some of you went to Disneyland. Did you go to Disneyland or did you come to?
I went to Disneyland.
Right. So
Yes. Okay. I think that might be coming back to me. I think we went to Disneyland and it was pretty cool because like, I think we managed to like perfectly hit all the rides.
Nice.
And that was pretty cool. Where did you guys go?
We went to oh my God, what's the dinner place? We a couple of us went to a concert, and then we went to that place where they do like everybody's on horses and there's knights. What the hell is it called?
Medieval Times.
Thank you. Yes. We went to Medieval Times.
Yeah, which also slaps.
Yeah, I love Medieval Times. I've been there twice. It's so much fun.
I took an old girlfriend there one time, and it was so funny because I went there and like this woman taking the tickets is like, the show is at Aid Me Lord, and like kept referring to me as my lord, but in this like really checked out tone. I was almost busting out laughing because it was probably period accurate. It's like If you get the chance to go to Medieval Times, go. Like, it's really campy and silly, but it rules.
Yeah.
It rules.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then
You'll mark out.
And then we went to San Diego, and we were there for probably a good couple days. Like, we were there for the convention, and I think like a day or two before and after.
Yeah.
And so we did the film festival, and we also just got to go to Comic-Con in 2007.
Did we go through Vegas before we hit the...
No, we went, I think Vegas was after the con.
Yeah.
I think we went, so yeah,
that sounds about
after
right.
the con, we went back up to LA, over to Vegas, and then back, because we were in Vegas for like 20 hours.
Yeah,
it was a mess.
Vegas was so funny. Like a whirlwind like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember we were walking up the strip, and I don't know if this is still a thing, but at the time, there's guys who are like, so there's lots of like escort agencies.
Yep.
But I don't think you're allowed to like verbally advertise
Correct.
it.
Yes.
So there was this bunch of dudes hanging out.
Yep.
And they would just like flick these cards.
Yep.
And Morgan made the mistake of accepting one, and then they like mobbed him.
Yeah.
And so he ended up with a whole bunch of these cards. And I think you guys identified some of the porn actresses that were on it. It's like, this isn't for real.
Those are, I was in Vegas, in October of last year. They're still definitely there. It's not as bad. But yeah, going to Comic-Con was really cool because it was nice. It was like right around the time that Comic-Con was starting to get really big.
Yeah,
and like when the studio started to, the movie studio started to really see the value in going there.
Was this when?
Ooh, Pharaohbender coming in with those 24,000. Jesus, that's a lot.
I think this was around when Planet Terror was released. Because I think I have an old photo of, they got an actress, like an amputee actress, to like hang out with the machine gun leg.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. One of the things that I remember the most was like the first day of that trip. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
So like because we came over on, did we take the Black Ball to Anacortes? Or I don't remember what ferry we took.
It was either that one or we just took
the
BC
regular
ferries to Vancouver and then drove down. I don't remember.
So yeah, it was we figured 10 guys who each knew about 10% about cars would add up to 100.
Yep.
And we were incorrect. And we were like topping up the gas, whenever we stopped at a station. And we were driving along, and Ben is like, I'm losing power, what the hell? He's just like, what's going on? And like we lost power, and we sort of scratched our heads about it, and then like I think we managed to get us started again and kept going, and then we lost power again. We're like, what the hell is going on? Like, we don't know what the problem is. And we were happened upon by a good Samaritan who was a reformed crack addict.
Yep.
Who had found Jesus. And he had some tow cables in his like truck or car or something. And he like towed us just up over the hill because we had almost made it to like trucker Mecca.
Yeah.
It was like this enormous sprawling complex of, of a truck stop, which is probably the best place we could have broken down. And so we went in there and like he, bid us good day and was just like, if you get the chance, check me out on the radio. And he like left some literature, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So we took it into the shop, and the guy sort of like poked and prodded a bunch of stuff. He's like, I don't know, it seems fine. It's like working okay. We're like, all right. And we headed off again, and we made it about like the perimeter of this place and lost power again. We're like, well, shit. And at this point,
this is day one.
This is day one,
we're
and it was just like
south of Seattle. Like, we're not far at all.
And it was one of those sort of like, oh man, are we gonna have to like scrub this road trip like right away and have to figure out some stupid way to get home? That's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And we're sitting by the side of the road with like these 18-wheelers howling past, making the whole bus go like. And we managed to summon a tow truck guy to come over, and he started like poking and prodding it, and he was just like, I don't know what it is. And he's like, can we try something? And he towed us to a filling station and got out of the pump and started putting gas in. And it went like $10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We were bone dry.
Yeah.
And the fuel gauge was fucked.
So it was a combination of the fuel gauge being fucked, but also a like weirdly slow filling gas tank. So you know when you're filling, if you have a car or you've ever filled a tank of gas before, you'll know that when you're getting close to it being full, the pump will disengage automatically because it can sense that it's getting full. So it's just like you need to slow down.
Yeah, the back pressure.
And so what would happen is we would go to a gas station, we'd put like $10 in it, and it would click off, and we were thinking,
like, oh, okay, we're full.
I guess we're full. Try to get a little bit more in, and then we would go, and that was one of the combination of that and the gauge being
we just
broken.
ended up being.
So it was just we just didn't have gas.
So,
and then miraculously, the only other issue we had with that car the entire trip was we had to replace the tires.
Oh yeah.
Tire.
I have one story before we get to that.
Yeah.
So after we got all that sorted out, it was like a couple days later. We were driving through, bombing along in the desert, and we had like sort of made ourselves at home in the bus, and we had like a waste paper basket on the dash, and we had the slip of paper that the guy had left with us with his his radio address.
I have no memory of this.
Well, you don't, because I think I may have been the only person to see this.
Okay.
I swear to you, I saw this happen.
Okay.
We're driving along. I saw that piece of paper get caught by a gust of wind, do 3 somersaults, and deposit itself in the trash.
Okay.
It was incredible.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so
God has spoken. Yeah.
So yeah, we were headed towards Vegas, and we'd become a little more diligent about taking care of the vehicle. And I think I decided to do like a spot check of stuff, and I was like, "Huh, is the front tire supposed to be showing bare metal?"
Yeah.
I don't know much about vehicles, but that seems bad, right?
Yeah.
And we managed to get to a really sketchy, like it was a mechanic's place.
Yeah, it was a mechanic's. It was
Stacy's Mechanic.
something like that. Yeah. I I
This
don't know
one
where
was
I
that
could have
was
to
so
go
weird.
find my photos, but I have photos of that.
Yeah,
place
they were
still.
sort of. They had a tire that would work.
Yeah.
It was like not ideal, but it's like it's round and it will fit. And while they were screwing around with that, myself and Morgan, and I think Ben, were like poking around in like the adjoining lot that had a bunch of weird stuff in it, including like the burnt out husk of a car with a wedding dress inside it.
I remember that.
I was like, oh god, the visual storytelling here is intense.
Ugh. That was a good trip.
It was a very good trip. It was like excellent.
It was the perfect like early 20-year-old trip.
Yeah, because just enough went wrong to make it interesting, but not so much to put us out of running.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was very good. There's lots of like great little memories. Like you remember coming back on was it the I-1 or something?
The just Highway 1 down
We
in
were
California.
so lucky to be going northbound.
Yeah.
Because this highway winds its way along the very sheer edge of like a cliff.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is Southern California.
Yeah.
The number 1. You're literally on the
Yeah,
ocean.
in the northbound lane, you are at least next to the wall.
Yeah.
As opposed to like sheer
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
And oh boy, it was swervy.
Yeah, that was a great trip. We had that bus way long too. Like we kept that bus for years.
Yeah, it was parked in.
Yeah, Bill and Graham and Morgan's place for years and years. I assume it eventually.
It was at some point, I think, towed. I don't remember what became of it, but
No, I mean,
it's
almost
probably
certainly
been scrapped.
Yeah, it almost certainly has been scrapped.
As
by now.
you know, it probably ought to be, but
Yeah.
no, it was good fun. Remember when we didn't know that you weren't supposed to store gas inside?
Yeah, it's fine.
But I mean, by the end of the trip, it smelled like BO and salami and gas.
I mean, it also didn't help that the final we missed. I can't remember if we missed a ferry.
Oh, this was
or,
the worst.
Yeah, so we came back and we definitely took the Coho
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes
down
sense.
to Port Angeles. That's how we got
Right,
over and back. And we got back, or we came back this. We got back to Port Angeles. And again, yeah, I can't remember if we just missed the ferry that day or that was just a timing, but we ended up having to spend the night in Port Angeles.
I thought we decided to cheap out. And
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we missed the ferry or we ran late, and we're like, okay, well, I guess we're spending the night in Port Angeles, and we're like, you know what, again, we were all young and 20-ish, whatever. We didn't have a lot of money. It was the end of the trip, and we're just like, fuck it. We're just gonna sleep in the van on the final night. And so by that point, we were down to 9 because Bill stayed behind
To fight ninjas.
So we at least had just a tiny bit more room.
I mean, I guess we don't need to use the euphemism anymore. It's like fight ninjas was a euphemism for work illegally in the United States.
Almost certainly, yeah. I think that's what he was doing. I think he was hanging out with his uncles down in Colorado.
Yeah.
I think is what he was doing that.
Missy
for
Bill,
that
love
summer.
you.
And so yeah, we decided to spend the night in the car, and it was
Bad.
awful.
So
It
bad.
was so bad. And we woke up the next morning and it was disgusting. And then when we got back to Victoria, the Canadian border services were like, 9 24-year-old idiots in a short bus, been in the States for 2 weeks. We're gonna look at every single inch of this vehicle.
Oh, man.
And we're gonna look through all of your stuff. And it's just like, okay, have fun.
Yeah.
And like, it took like an hour or something like that. We all just wanted to get home. They ended up taking something of yours, didn't you? Because you came back with a like a shotgun, like not a real shotgun.
Oh, the airsoft.
An
It was
airsoft
like
gun.
Oh yeah, I guess they did.
Yeah, they definitely ended up taking that. I'm pretty sure you came back with
it was like some sort of plastic pellet
yeah,
gun of
yeah,
some
yeah,
sort.
not like a real gun, but they definitely took it. And it was just like, okay, I hope
like,
you enjoyed
sure.
going through our disgusting bus.
Nasty.
Ugh.
Oh, it's so nasty.
But yeah, that was a good trip. And kind of definitely, you could look at it as sort of a precursor to Road Quest,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, Road Quest was definitely more pleasant.
Yes, certainly significantly more well-planned.
Yeah. That was a good one. I mean, like, we sort of occasionally joke about Road Quest too, but I would, like, love to do that again. The other thing is that, like, I would really love to go on another one, but also for the content, mixing up the hosts would also be good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that if and when we do Road Quest 2, and I think it's a when, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
It will not just be the same 6 people. Like it'll definitely be different.
Road Quest Gaiden. We should just call it that. But yeah, it's like road trips are fun. There was one that we did out to Calgary for Friday nights filming.
Yeah, to the Grand Prix that was in Calgary.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Like it wasn't anything especially, amazing, but it was just nice.
Yeah.
It was like myself and I remember Cam and Graham and Kathleen.
Yeah, so it was you. It was you and Graham and Kathleen and Cam, I was there because I was driving.
Right.
I remember we borrowed Kate's, like Bill's mom, her big passenger van.
Right.
I don't know if she still has that thing, but we borrowed that rather than like renting a vehicle.
I don't know if that was my first time through the Rockies. I was floored. Like,
The Rockies are incredible.
it's difficult to describe unless you've actually seen them how enormous
Yeah.
like a proper mountain range is. Like it almost gives you this sort of like fear response, like for no other reason other than it's just big as shit.
Yeah. Well, and it's big as shit, and it just kind of
Is there.
it's just there. It's like 1 minute it's not, and then you turn a corner and you're just like boom,
Yeah.
gigantic peaks as far as you
It's
can
just
see,
like,
and then you have to drive through them.
for millions of years.
It's so cool.
But yeah, it was fun. The one sort of like issue with that trip was that Graham lost the SD card that we were filming on, so that like as far as a business trip, it was a wash.
Well, I don't actually remember how that got resolved because
We did
still,
reshoots.
We
didn't
still definitely did an episode. I
Yeah.
guess we probably just reshot stuff. Or
Yeah.
did we green screen some stuff? I don't remember. I mean,
Yeah.
you can go watch the video. That would have been, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but that was, GP Calgary or whatever.
I feel like that was probably why, like now we, dump footage
Immediately.
daily. I mean, I don't want to like leave it to one instance, but I feel like those are the lessons you remember.
Yep. For sure.
But yeah, that, I'm trying to remember what else happened in Calgary. I remember the big food court.
I do not remember the big food court.
Yeah, there was a mall, and they had a big food court. I don't even remember what set was there. But yeah, people were playing Magic and so forth.
We did green screen stuff, yeah. Okay. Definitely not the way you'd want to fix it, but suck.
That's what you gotta do, you stick it together with chewing gum and baling wire.
Yep.
It wasn't the West Edmonton Mall. I've never been, actually. And also, the West Edmonton Mall known for being in Edmonton, not Calgary. I'm trying to think of like other sort of noteworthy monuments that I've been to. Like you've been to Niagara Falls, right?
No,
Really?
I've never been to Niagara Falls.
I
In
mean-
fact, the only place I have ever been in Ontario in any longer period of time, other than just a layover at Pearson, is Hamilton.
Ah.
That is the only place that I have ever been to.
We're not talking
'Cause-
shit about Hamilton anymore.
Correct. For Con Bravo, yeah.
But yeah, actually, well, like, so my mom's from Hamilton originally.
So, no, my mom is from somewhere, I can't remember where. Anyways, continue.
And so is Jordan,
Yeah.
as I recall. And actually, if you're in or near Hamilton, if you go to the Irving Zucker Performing Arts Center, I want to say, out front there's a giant bronze statue of a ballerina who's like enormously pregnant, going like this. My mom sculpted that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because like she got connected with Irving Zucker, who's like a sort of philanthropist and sort of community thing. So yeah, she sculpted that, and then they made it. And it's funny because like the tummy's all like shiny from people.
Rubbing the belly.
Yeah, for good
That's
luck.
awesome.
Yeah, we went there for Con Bravo, which was I went in 2015, and it was awesome. And then I went in 2016, had the worst anxiety attack of my life for reasons. But yeah, it was a fun event.
So yeah, we went 1 year. Sarah, do you remember what year that was? Because I know you were there. I don't even remember who else from LRR went. And really the only thing I actually remember is that's where Bartleby came from.
Is it?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that because it was Featherweight made it, right? I don't even remember what the.
Sorry.
That's okay. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Ian and Featherweight did a Tinker Tailor panel. Yes.
Oh.
Okay. And so Featherweight decided to make a puppet, and that's where Bartleby got made.
Mother of God.
That is the origin story of Bartleby. I filmed a bunch. I filmed a vlog while we were there. Unfortunately, I think another lost footage story. I can't remember what happened. I think I had like a laptop problem or something like that. But yeah.
So Bartleby and Jordan are from the same city. Hey, have you ever seen them in the same video?
Yeah.
It's just like check out when Jordan drinks water if Bartleby says anything. Yeah, so Hamilton is, it's a former industrial town. I guess they still have some industry there, which is like everything that supposes. But I think they're kind of up and coming. They've been there for a long time. That's also the sort of secret tech that I discovered for visiting Toronto. Is a direct flight from Victoria to Toronto is, expensive. But I think one of the years I went, I discovered it's like, wait a sec. If I get a flight from Vancouver to Hamilton and transit the rest, I save like a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And it's not that onerous because like the transit system in Ontario is actually like, for all the flaws, it's still pretty good. So you can take like a GO bus from Hamilton into Toronto, and yeah, it's pretty good. I have not been back to Ontario like since 2016, which is a drag because like I went to Con Bravo, and then like my anxiety went nuts for reasons, and then like all sorts of nonsense happened, and then like that sort of ambled forward, and I just haven't had the wherewithal to go back. I really want to, but
I would love to. Like I've never been to Toronto. I've never been to like Quebec or Montreal. I'd love to go to like the East Coast proper as well. Like if we I would love to do a Road Quest Season 2 where we start in like Toronto.
Oh man.
And go east and just fuck about in like Newfoundland and PEI.
Newfoundland and Labrador.
I think that'd be super
I've
cool.
never seen Eastern Canada.
Yeah, neither have I.
At all, so.
I've never seen any of it, and I would really like to, so.
Yeah. Road Quest 2, the 401. Man, my clearest memory of the 401 is like the main artery highway, sort of in the northern part of Toronto. And I used to do show tech for a job for many, many years, and we had lots of different side gigs that we would do because we were just like a company of idiots who were good at moving things. And one year, I think it was just like after Christmas time, so this would mean January probably, we were hired to go take down the Christmas decorations at a mall, I don't know, like Scarborough or something, which is like west. I always get Scarborough and Etobicoke like flipped. But anyway, yeah, we went there. This was also where, to tangent one more time, this is where I saw some of the best visual storytelling I had ever seen. I mentioned this on a podcast, I think, recently, where there was a sort of like basement where everything was stored. And there was this like flat concrete area, and there was a fire extinguisher with about 100 rubber bands around the handle and a blast radius out from it,
Okay.
where somebody had obviously like pulled the pin from a distance.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just, you know, cuz. So when we finished packing the stuff up, the guys were driving the 5-ton back to the shop, and I was like, I don't suppose you could drop me off, and they're like, sort of. It's like we can drop you off at like the highway interchange, and it was like shitting snow.
Oh god.
And I was like, well, I'll take it because I'm young and stupid, and I,
Yeah.
you know, don't have any money. So I get out at, you know, the 401 in some god awful intersection, and I'm like, there in the freezing cold, and I watch the 5-ton go down the 401 and just sort of turn sideways and keep going.
Oh my god.
Oh man, bad times. Ah, the heyday of youth. That was when I was living in an illegally subdivided townhouse in a space literally the size of a closet. It's so good to be able to laugh about that shit now because it was not funny at the time.
Do you want anything?
Burger. No, I'm good.
All right. Be right back.
Hello, everyone. I've been left to this. Oh, James's phone. Hang on. Okay, this is the only prank that we're able to do. Come on. Can I not? Oh, you can't open the camera. Oh well. That would be funny if James came back in 10 minutes with a burger. I mean, like, Andrew started the thing of swiping people's phones and then just taking selfies. We kind of, I think that the best pranks are, I have a couple of rules about them. It's like, the best pranks are harmless. It is clear they are a prank, and the recipient is able to get a laugh out of it. I think that's the ideal prank, where it's like silly and harmless and funny, and everybody gets to have a good time. Excuse me, I think that's why clubbing was so funny for such a long time. I tried to take a selfie with your phone, but couldn't get it.
How rude.
I was talking about pranks and how the best ones are harmless and fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, clubbing came from bros icing bros,
Yeah.
which is a weird thing to think of in the first place. Like it was. I want to say this was like mid-2000s.
Yeah.
It was somebody had come up with this
the-
pranking format where you would contrive for your friend to encounter a room temperature Smirnoff Ice, at which point they would be obliged to drink it.
God. It has its entire Wikipedia page.
Does it?
It's not big. Icing is a drinking game, an internet meme that gained prominence in 2010 in which one person conceals a bottle of Smirnoff Ice in a place in which another person will find it. Once found, they are immediately required to kneel and drink. I actually don't remember the kneel part.
Oh.
If handing the bottle to the person, they must willingly touch the bottle. Otherwise, the individual attempting to ice must get on one knee and drink. Participants are encouraged to come up with elaborate ways to present the Smirnoff Ice to their targets by hiding bottles or cans in inconspicuous locations or in situations where drinking it would be dangerous or embarrassing.
Yep.
Before they attend, e.g., before they attend a meeting.
Or like they
wow.
would lower it on fishing line outside a window or something.
What the what? Icing, which was described by the New York Times in June of 2010 as the nation's biggest viral drinking game. God, I miss the 2010s. Where that was the nation's biggest viral thing. Oh my God.
I mean, I can't wait for whatever the next trend is. It's
Wait,
like,
there was a website, brosingbros.com.
yeah, that
Does that still work?
probably.
Nope. But I can buy it for $2,500.
Nah.
I wonder how many subs that we would have to get in the next little while for me to buy that domain with the LRR credit card to not have Beej and Graham yell at me.
I think it's funny, but like I don't think it's funny enough.
It's not.
There's like
If it was like $500, I would do it because I would just I'll take that hit if
Yeah.
they if they get mad. But
also it's like there is a sort of like risk reward or more like like comedy potential cost ratio that you kind of think about.
yeah,
And like I encounter this a lot where you'll be like, this is funny, but is it funny enough to like warrant actually going through with it?
yep.
And you do the calculus, and sometimes you're just like, yeah, this would be really hilarious.
That's definitely Desert Bus.
Yep.
A lot of ways. There's a lot of times in Desert Bus it's just like, okay, this is funny. And speaking specifically towards the money aspect, like I remember one of the more recent, I mean, this isn't even recent, this is years ago now, but the Ham Father bit that Ian did
That was so funny.
was one of my favorite bits that has ever happened on Desert Bus. And I had the idea of, okay, I'll do it one night, but instead of the music just playing as a pre-recorded track, what if I hired strings players
Oh man.
to come in and just sit down and play the Godfather music while I did the Ham Father bit? And I was like, that's a really good idea. And then I looked into how much it was going to cost me, and I had to do the quick
Yeah.
math, being like, okay, this is amazing, this is funny. I think it was like $200, $250.
That's like, I suppose he probably thought it's like, can I raise more than that?
Yeah, and it's just like, can I kind of have like a goof budget that I've worked into my brain, like instead of donating to Desert Bus, which I used to do, or donating to Child's Play, which I used to do. Now I look at my time as the volunteer, as that
Well, yeah,
donation.
and like I guess the goofs are sort of a way of driving.
Exactly. And not even like, it's not like I can like, okay, I spent $250 on these two incredible, violin players to come in and play a 5-minute song while I cut ham and feed it to my friends, which is a weird thing to say. And like, I can't be sure that raised more than I spent, but I do know that that created a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
And like, that's more important because I know going into Desert Bus that we're going to raise a buttload of money for a great cause. So I can justify stuff like that. Well, when you say it out loud, it's weird.
Yeah. Golly gosh. What a weird event Desert Bus is.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, what kind of stuff are you entertaining yourself with these days?
So TV wise, have you watched Shogun?
No.
All right.
That's that one about the Shogun, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I know nothing about this show, but I just know people keep talking about it. So I put that on my list of,
Shogun.
yeah. So I put that on my list. Shorzy, the third series of Shorzy was really good. I really like that.
I don't remember what I watched recently.
Actually, you're more movies, right?
More movies, but like I do watch TV. Actually, I was delighted yesterday because I think Graham or somebody made. No, I think it was Cam. He made some sort of reference about Captain Picard, and it's like I get those references now because like
okay.
last year
You went
I
and
finally watched. I actually did a hard Star Trek binge. I went Next Gen.
Yeah.
And then I watched. God, what was DS9 right after that?
Yeah, I think it went. Yeah,
Next
DS9
Gen?
was.
Watched DS9 and it ruled.
Yeah.
And I watched Voyager, which was
So Voyager.
It was a mixed bag.
If I watched it now, I would definitely probably have a little bit more criticisms of it. But at the time, I watched that show with my mom.
Yeah.
Because she was a huge TNG fan. But when she was watching TNG, I was I don't know. I think I was just a little young. It didn't quite grab me. I've since seen it, and it's obviously fantastic. But when Voyager started to air, I loved it. It was so good.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
like
God.
it really is a mixed bag. I think it's worth watching. And there's like a lot of stuff that surprised me, like because I missed Star Trek pretty much in its entirety when it was broadcasting. Like I would see episodes out of context.
Yeah.
But I never sat down and watched it. I think my dad was like a hardcore original series guy, and he like turned his nose up at Next Gen and stuff. Just okay.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's some things like I'm sort of glad that our tastes aren't exactly aligned because it means we can have our own kind of thing.
Yeah.
He did not like Dune 2.
Like the one that just came out?
Yeah, and I mean, I want to see it.
It's really good.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then after Voyager was it Enterprise?
Yes.
Yeah, that sucked shit.
Enterprise, yeah, I never watched Enterprise, and then it
it's
was
dog shit.
yeah, and then there was Discovery.
I don't think I saw Discovery. Like I think I cratered after after Enterprise.
Yeah.
Like I mean I think I live tweeted a bunch of it, and like my sort of summary of Enterprise was like Riker's like dead eyes at the end of that episode. The fucking wrap up and blow off of that series is like, it's a flashback. Like it was, oh my god. Also like watching it in hindsight, what a unbelievably heavy-handed 9/11 metaphor the whole thing was.
Oh, really?
Oh my god. Okay, so like aliens do a terrorist attack on the Earth and they take the Star Trek ship to go and look for weapons of mass destruction.
Oh my god.
Literally.
Good lord.
And like, was it Scott Bakula?
Yeah.
Being a tough guy, and it just does not land even a little bit.
So the newest series is Strange New Worlds.
Okay.
I've only watched the first season. I actually think once we're done the Sub-A-Thon next week, I'm gonna watch the second season. It's really good.
Cool.
You should definitely seek out and watch Strange New Worlds because it is a significant, like, it's way more like TNG.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Like it's kind of like it's got kind of a Monster of the Week vibe. It's about going out and just exploring and humanity and all the good that comes with it, and of course all the bad. But like it's really good. I really like the first season.
Also, Lower Decks rules.
I have not watched Lower Decks. Apparently, in the second season of Strange New World, there's a crossover.
No shit.
Yeah, like,
That's wild.
So they cast the real life versions, right? Of the voice actors.
Oh wow.
To play themselves.
That's bizarre.
Which is amazing. I need to watch Lower Decks.
But it's really, really good, and I was very glad to watch it after catching up on Next Gen and so forth, because there's so many references. It's like it's a love letter to Star Trek writ large.
That's cool. I need to watch that.
Like, there's an episode where they prank call Armis, or whatever the fuck his name was, the like tar monster that killed Tasha Yar. You know, spoilers. But like, it's just so silly.
That's awesome.
Fuck. Yeah, it's very, very good. It does remind me that like it was a complete crime for them to. This is not entirely related, but they canceled Inside Job, which is very good.
What's Inside Job?
Inside Job is an animated series about. It's sort of like the Illuminati, you know. Only it's like this organization that's like behind the scenes making everything happen. And the headliners, this very haggard woman named Reagan Ridley, and she's doing her best to try and like make things work. It's really funny. It's difficult for me to describe because like a lot of bizarre stuff happens, but it has a kind of similar vibe.
Cool.
It's like one of those things that like I hesitate to sort of put it in the same sort of sphere as something like Rick and Morty, but that's what we compare it to. I mean, Rick and Morty is actually like a good show.
It is. Yeah.
Again, it's like one of those things that
Oh, okay, yeah. I do remember seeing this now.
Oh, it's by Alex Hirsch from Gravity Falls. Yeah, that'd do it. Yep. Yeah, what if every conspiracy theory were true and it was your job to keep them covered up? There you go.
I find that I need animated shows to have really good characters for me to get invested.
Yeah, I've there's been definitely a couple that I like bounced off of. Like there was I don't remember even what the hell it was called. It was something that was similar. It was like a space thing. And it looked like it was trying to ape on those style, but like the characters just weren't there. There was like the main guy was just like, I'm loud.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like
it's like, okay.
Like one of my favorite like
Final Space. Yeah, you know exactly what I was talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not very good.
Yeah, animated shows, I need the characters to be basically so good that I forget that they are animated.
Have you seen The Amazing World of Gumball?
I have not.
Holy shit. You should. It's excellent. And very weird. Like very, very weird, but like enormously funny.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, no, it's not like recent, but Gumball's astounding.
Lord.
It is like mixed media animation. Like one of the weirdest things is that like the different characters are animated in different ways.
Oh.
Like the main cast is sort of like traditional, like I mean people would call it CalArt style, but there's like stop motion animated characters and like 2D motion graphics characters, and then like there's one character who is a person's lower face upside down with googly eyes on their chin.
Wait, is this a show that's still being made?
No, it ran for 3 seasons, I think. Yeah, I very strongly recommend it. Or The Talking Balloon. It's very funny.
Like somebody mentioned BoJack in chat.
I didn't see
as
that.
well.
Like I was not particularly drawn towards that show because like everybody just says like, oh, it's so depressing. It's so depressing. I was like, okay.
It is, but that's not its only thing. I think BoJack is a perfect example of the kind of animated show that I like because the characters are so well thought out and grounded in reality, but there's also enough kind of like your main character is a fucking talking horse that exists in a world of humans. It's not like it's a world of talking animals. It's a world where animals talk, which is surreal and silly, but it's sad, but it does really interesting things with it. Like it's not a particularly easy watch, but it's really good.
I think I'm also just like very cautious about what I ingest.
Mm-hmm.
That said, sometimes I just do stupid things like I binged Peaky Blinders.
Oh God.
I was like, why did I do that? Peaky Blinders is good, but it's just like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah. Thoughts on Archer? I mean,
Okay, God, Archer has a lot of good stuff in it. It is really on like a long, slow kind of like taper. I think that show has gone on for
so I think it's
way
done.
too many seasons.
Yeah, I believe the series is over now.
Yeah.
I don't think anything will come close to like the first couple seasons.
Yeah.
But then I really did enjoy that. Adam something, I think his name is, the creator of the show. And I think the guy who created the show wrote every single episode. Like, I'm sure that he obviously had a writer's room as well, but he's credited as writing every single episode.
Yeah, it was, like, it's still perfectly watchable, but, like, it does have very big peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can watch it. It's you know, it's good. But it does have, like, it is all over the place a little bit. Actually, that leads us neatly into Bob's Burgers,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is difficult for me to get a fix on. Like, because I have, like, a very backhanded compliment for it, which is that I really loved watching it while I was having, like, harsh anxiety episodes, because it was, like, very easy to watch.
Bob's Burgers kind of reminded me a lot of early Simpsons.
Yeah, it's definitely going for the sort of like Simpsons of a new generation, and like
Yeah.
the entire design of it, I think mirrors that, because like you still have like the the dysfunctional family, but it's like more situated in something that's recognizable. Like, it's bizarre to think that the original Simpsons was meant to be relatable to people of the time as like a sort of like lower middle class family that have a fucking house with 2 cars and like 3 kids
and only
and
the
a
dad,
dog.
and the dad is the only one who works. And,
Yeah, like that's bonkers to think
Yeah.
about now. So Bob's Burgers is a lot more sort of, I think, resonant with a younger audience, or like a more contemporary audience, because it's like, a family with like a struggling small business. They live upstairs. The kids work.
Yep.
I think that I feel like that hits more. And it is kind of about, people trying to sort of, it's weird because it's like, God, how do I describe this? Because I kind of go back and forth on that kind of vibe between being like, it's really charming that, these simple people are able to, have these special moments and so forth, and feeling like, this is so fucking sad. It's like that this is like all they have. And maybe that's by design, or maybe that's like my own turmoil kind of coming out to play. But yeah, like it definitely has its moments. Like I never found Bob's Burgers to be like laugh out loud funny.
No. I haven't watched a lot of it, but I agree with that. Every time I've watched it, it's kind of like chuckle or smile on my face, or that was clever.
Yeah.
But not like,
But, again, like that made it perfect watching, for when I was in a bad state of mind, which is like maybe fine.
Yeah.
Like to have something that you can, watch that isn't going to, it's not that it's not going to challenge you, but it's like it's going to be like comfortable watching. So Venture Brothers rules. Venture Brothers is very good. And like probably even better if you've watched some of the sort of like 60s cartoons that it apes on.
Yeah.
Because like it's very much an outgrowth of stuff like Johnny Quest and what else from the, I mean, like even just like James Bond and shit like that. Go Team Venture.
Harvey Birdman.
Oh
Remember
yeah!
that show?
Holy shit! Yeah, no, that one's
man.
very good. There's still like a lot of quotable lines that comes up, and I was like, hello.
Oh god.
It's just like promotions. It's God, that one was. The writing in that is so tight. And like I have not seen something like that for quite a while since. Like it's like it's so difficult to get that kind of I hesitate to call it like, sort of lol random humor, but it has that like very chaotic vibe that has been like, I think meticulously planned
Yeah.
to like appear as though it's just like very, off the cuff. And I think like that kind of writing is like much harder to do than people think it is, which is why, you get a lot of stuff that isn't so good.
Yeah.
Because it's way harder than it looks. I watched a couple of episodes of like some 90s TV, like, was it Home Improvement?
Oh God. Tim Allen. Hell
That,
yeah.
I mean,
Good Lord.
I didn't stick with it for very long, but I was just like, I wonder what this show's like. It's like, oh, okay, it's Tim Allen barking a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I
Which
watched
is
that show,
exactly
like,
what it
we
is.
watched that show as kids,
Yeah.
for sure. That was like one of the family shows.
That's a little bit of Fresh Prince, which I heard is like quite good, like especially for its time. It seemed pretty good. I mean, like I quite enjoyed the DJ being thrown out of the door. Did I say the RoboCop TV show? I've seen bits of it, and it was like weird. It's just like it really is just like a watered down Punch, where it's like people really enjoyed RoboCop. It's like, what if we made this only like way shittier with like no special effects? We've got the suit, we might as well get some mileage out of it. I mean, RoboCop kind of went off a cliff after the first movie. Like the movie's great and like a classic among classics of the era. Like there is a sort of pantheon of like 80s action sci-fi. It's like you have like that and like Predator and Terminator, and like there are like these pillars of sci-fi that have sort of stood the test of time. And unfortunately, like most of the spin-offs from all of those are pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's like Terminator, you got 2 good movies. Alien, you got 2 good movies, although technically one of those was in the 70s. Alien was 1979, but it kind of sneaks in with those ones.
Yep.
RoboCop, you got 1 movie. RoboCop 2 has its moments.
God, I don't even know if I've ever seen RoboCop 2. Now that I think about it.
It's watchable. I think RoboCop 3 might be where they start introducing like cyber ninjas and shit. The bad guy robot is pretty cool. It was who the hell was it that did the special effects for that? Yeah, the Kane robot is very cool. Yeah, I love Predator. I don't know how this has happened, but I have never seen Predator 2 start to finish.
I don't think I have either.
I've seen bits of it a bunch of times. Even times when I've put it on, I've like gotten sidetracked. So,
Isn't there there's a new Predator movie, right? That came out last year.
was it Prey?
Prey. Did you see that?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I think it was certainly the best of the bad Predator spin-offs. Which is a shame because like some of them had really good premises. Like Predators had a really good setup, and then it just like that one was like a bunch of people wake up parachuting into an alien planet.
Yeah.
And they're all heavily armed, and they sort of figure out that they come from different, like, very violent backgrounds. Like, they're commandos or, like, cartel enforcers or, like, death squad members or something. And they realize that they've been dropped as, like, to be hunted. And it's like, that's a really cool premise.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of farts out.
You know what I watched on TV
What's that?
last week? We're into 90s action now. Demolition Man.
Oh, man. Yup.
I still genuinely love that stupid movie.
It's
Oh my
pretty
God.
great. I do love, because they sort of lampoon the liberal future.
Yeah.
I mean, we also get like 3 seashells from that.
Is that 8 years? That's when Demolition Man is supposed to happen in 8 years from now, 20 whatever that is. That's on 2032.
So funny.
God.
It was like, is it Sandra Bullock was in that movie?
Yes, Sandra Bullock.
Take this job
Wesley
and shovel
Snipes,
it.
And his name has completely escaped my mind. Who was the lead?
Sylvester Stallone?
Was it Stallone?
Yeah, it was
it was
Stallone and
it was
Wesley
Stallone.
Snipes.
Yeah, Stallone.
Dennis Leary.
And Dennis Leary, yeah.
Yeah.
God, that movie is very fun.
Yeah.
And then Taco Bell won the food wars, right?
That shit was
Which
so
is
funny.
amazing. I love that.
There was a lot of like really excellent like future jokes in that, and I've probably taken some inspiration from there. There's like dumbass stuff.
Yeah. Sex helmets. I forgot about sex helmets.
The sex helmets are so funny.
Oh man.
There's a couple hidden gems that I've found. One of my favorites is Dead Heat.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I only saw that for the first time within the last couple years, and I was like, how the hell has this like missed every like best movies of the 80s that I've seen? It's a buddy cop zombie movie that's just like very silly. Like the premise is like there's these two cops and they run afoul of like this operation where people have developed a technology that brings the dead back to life. It's pretty straightforward, and it's really goofy, and it has amazing special effects. And like, to give you an idea, there's a point in the movie where they're like, they're doing their cop thing, trying to sweat information out of this guy in Chinatown at his like butcher shop, and he has one of these like machines that raises the dead, and he like turns it on, and all the meat comes alive and attacks them.
That's right. Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
I think I remember watching that at Pat's house many years ago. Oh my god.
Like the dude gets ambushed by like a liver that's trying to suffocate. It's so good. Like if you haven't seen Dead Heat, it rules. It's also got like Vincent Price in it randomly.
I think I can't remember what Ben posted, but I think Vincent Price is in the movie that he plans to watch tonight for public domain movie
good.
night.
Oh man, you just discovered Kentucky Fried Movie? That one is so fucking funny. Like
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's very good. It's kind of like a how do I describe this? It's like the movie takes the format of as if you were watching like some TV.
Okay.
So there's like all these segments, a fake news program and fake advertisements, and then there's like the main feature and then other stuff. It's kind of skits, but was it an early Zucker Brothers thing? Maybe.
What's it called?
I don't remember. Kentucky Fried Movie. The main feature is oh hell, what the hell is the name of it? But it's a parody of Enter the Dragon, and it's so fucking funny.
Kentucky Fried.
I would love to watch that with you. It's so good.
1977.
Yeah. No, Kentucky Fried Movie is very good. And also like Top Secret, which was another one that I did not watch for the longest time. Like I'm fairly certain that's like an early Zucker Brothers movie, and that one is genius. Yeah, Fistful of Yen, that's the one.
Yeah, this is David Zucker. This is the best genre I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It is an independent anthology sketch black comedy film.
Correct.
Which I love. That's so many words stitched together to make something sound kind of dope.
It's like in case of premature ejaculation.
It costs $650,000. I love that.
Cheap. It's like they what is it? The Art of Love comes with Big Jim Slade. Like to give you an idea, A Fistful of Yen like does stuff like it shows a panorama of New York, and it captions it Hong Kong. That's the one where like there's the guy who's playing the the bad guy with the prosthetic hand. And he like brings up a prisoner and cuts his head off. And he's like, take him to be tortured. And then the next guy comes up and he's like, fuck you. And he spits on him. He's like, take him to Detroit. And he's like, no, not Detroit. Not that. Anything but that, please. Not Detroit.
Poor Detroit. Oh, that's awesome.
So fucking funny. I'm trying to think of some like other like weird hidden movies that I am very fond of.
Isn't that you like that tire movie, right? And that's more recent.
Fucking okay, yeah. Something was gonna like somebody talking about independent movies made me think about Rubber.
Rubber, yeah.
I had to take a break after I watched that movie because I was like,
I still haven't seen it.
I have just like this might be the best movie ever made, and
Okay.
I'm not sure. It is just watch Rubber. It's a movie ostensibly about a psychic tire, and that's about all I should tell you
Yeah.
about it. Golly, it's weird. And it also like takes itself off the hook for being responsible for anything right at the very beginning, and you're just like, oh shit, this movie's like beyond criticism.
Yeah.
So it's wild. It's very wild.
Have you seen that weird Peter Jackson movie with the puppets? Meet the Feebles?
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
His
That Feebles is great.
that's why him being tagged to do Lord of the Rings was so weird because I had seen Bad Taste in Meet the
Yeah.
Feebles.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen
yeah,
it,
nothing about his past filmography suggests that he should have been given the reins of the Lord of the Rings films. Obviously, worked out extremely well, but like,
oh shit, yeah, he did Dead Alive as well.
yeah,
Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah, his
Peter
like back
Jackson's
catalog
weird. Yeah.
is like super grotesque, gory, like camp.
yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, no. Those three movies are excellent. Like they are very gnarly watches, but Bad Taste was like his first movie. It was a very very budget kind of like alien invasion, cannibalism thing. It's very funny. They blow up a sheep.
Like a real sheep.
I hope not.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
It is
Maybe.
His filmography is wild.
Yeah.
He's made these ridiculous, campy, schlocky horror things, and then he made Lord of the Rings, which are incredible, and then he obviously did The Hobbit, which is a thing, and then I don't know if he did King Kong, that was his, and then obviously he most recently like remastered all of that old Beatles footage from the Let It Be Abbey Road era, which is fantastic. If you've never watched that series, it's really interesting. It's a weird watch because it's just like 4 hours of just footage of the Beatles being the Beatles recording this album.
Was Peter
but
Jackson
cleaned up, and it's very
Was
very
he
neat.
involved with And They Shall Not Grow Old? I don't remember
don't
if he was
remember.
involved with it or not.
Simon Ark literally just said
Ah,
Who
okay,
Shall
yeah, no,
Not Grow Old is
They Shall Not Grow
remarkable.
Old is amazing.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, it's they took a bunch of footage from the Great War and like really thoroughly restored it.
I have heard
and
of
I
that.
think colorized it,
Yeah.
and then like did sound and so forth, and it's like intercut with interviews, both like old and new, of like survivors of the conflict, and it's just it's astounding. Yeah, it is something. I'm not familiar with Black Sheep.
Oh, Black Sheep is wild. District 9, I had forgotten about that movie.
It's good.
Who directed that movie?
Neil Blomkamp.
Yes, thank you.
Who is he doing? Alien Romulus?
I want to say
Am
yes.
I remembering that correct? I
can't remember.
I
That's
hope
the-
that movie is at least watchable because we have not. I mean, all the Alien
No, it's not
sequels
him. Who's doing the new Alien movie?
are. Oh, did somebody? Fede Alvarez.
Okay.
Blomkamp was on the hook at one point to do an Alien movie, but I think it fell through. District 9, it's getting a sequel.
District 10?
Yeah. I think it's actually literally called District 10.
I mean, that would just make sense.
But yeah, it's good. And Elysium is like kind of corny, but I love it because of all the space future tech.
Yep.
And it's very cool. Chappie kind of sucks balls.
I don't think I ever saw Chappie. Yeah,
I mean, again, it's got like super cool future tech, but like, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to have Diane Antwoord star in it.
That's fair.
You know, they make pretty good music, but like, I was not a fan of Chappie.
I watched
Very cool design though.
Children of Men again recently.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, you've never seen? Okay.
No, I mean, I ought to.
Yeah, you should see that one. Children of Men I still really liked it. I still think it holds up pretty well.
I haven't watched Love Lies Bleeding yet, but I want to. I do feel like it might give me palpitations because oh Christ, what's the actress's name in it? This is so dumb. No, my brain is not working this morning. Somebody will say Kirsten Stewart. I have a major fucking crush on her. It's like she's so hot. I watched Underwater just because like the promo footage of her in it was just like it's good though. Like Underwater is actually like a perfectly good like horror movie.
That's Underwater was Del Toro?
Was it?
Or am I thinking of something different?
Yeah, it's almost like the perfect just like it's just horror movie. And it's fine. It's got
That's Shape of thank you.
Yeah, no, like Vincent it's got Vincent Cassel in it as well. Great special effects, very cool design. They're like the diving suits are very cool. But yeah. There's a lot of gifs from the Hot Ones she was on that fuck. It was really funny because like I remember when she first sort of like came on the scene in Twilight. It was like
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when that's your first breakout thing.
Yeah,
It's something
she
so
just looks sort of like,
mainstream and huge and yeah.
And then she got like older and super crazy hot.
We were talking about would you do the Hot Ones challenge? We were talking about this yesterday.
That's a good question.
When
Like, I'm
Cameron
not very good with spicy food. I feel like it would be entertaining. I would probably say yes and like get my ass handed to me. But like, I don't think my tum tum would be very happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I can't really do spicy food like I used to, but I'd definitely try it. I think it would be pretty fun. Because it's a very easy live bit, right? Like just Lur does Hot Ones. That would be very simple.
I mean, we could probably even ask to like, you know, because they have their this is the last dab. Just be like, hey, can we reference your bit?
Yeah.
So it's a great show because like it has both that sort of like trendy, you know, shareable virality of like a silly stunt, but also the guy who does it is an excellent interviewer who asks really good questions.
He's a great interviewer. He lets his guests talk, which is a very important part of the interview process.
Just like it's almost weird seeing what a good interview looks like.
Yeah, it's clear they do. They have a great research team. Yeah, Sean Evans is the name.
Yeah, he it's always a delight when you know the hostess is like, "Oh, you know about that, and you're letting me talk about it."
Yeah.
So you did actually come to this extremely prepared, and I'm like, they like kind of get into good mood from it.
And like it's also the kind of show that like really rewards the guests who come there to like really give it their all.
Yeah.
Like Conan's episode.
Conan just like going
just
into
like,
thermonuclear meltdown.
Yeah, he's just like he was just there, and like there is no man more committed to the bit.
Yeah.
than Conan O'Brien, and like that episode is just bonkers.
Did you see Gordon Ramsay?
Yes.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
By the end, he's just like squirting lemon and lime juice onto it.
But like I watch basically every episode of Hot Ones now because like they just have this. They have the possibility of being something really really good.
Alton Brown just no sells everything.
Yes. Yeah.
He gets up to the like hottest one and he's like, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's like, are you a man? Or I mean, we got so many good gifts out of that. Like, oh hell, what's his? I've completely blanked on his name. He did the brain melting. Idris Elba. There we go.
Okay.
I was just like that really handsome guy. God, he's handsome. Yeah, where he's like. Oh, the Shack was on there. Awesome. Guy Fieri. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. It's a really great format. Conan. I saw I think I watched that Hot Ones and like I ping-ponged off of that to an older segment he did on I think his live show with where he had Hunter S. Thompson and then went out like shooting guns.
Sounds like
Man, that would have been wild.
I would have hung out with Hunter S. Thompson for a day. I think that would have been wild.
Yeah, I think that would be an unforgettable experience. He's a weird one. Actually, one of my this almost brings us full circle because like one of my favorite books is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. It's very weird. Like the book's bizarre and it's hard to kind of. I suppose like you have to sort of read it to get what it means when it says that it's about the American dream. Because it is this book about like sort of excess and wanton depravity and like taking advantage of opportunity and so forth. Mm-hmm. And it just has lots of unforgettable bits. The movie adaptation is also quite good.
I haven't watched that movie for a while now, but
yeah, it's really good.
I've definitely seen it a few times.
It's so funny the bit where like there's a flashback and he's like Johnny Depp's character Hunter Thompson is like, I was in some club called The Matrix. There it was. And he like looks to the left and Hunter S. Thompson like actually is there. And he's like, there it was. Holy fuck. Clearly, product of the drug, apparently he spent a lot of time with Hunter Thompson, like learning his mannerisms and so forth.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, and was it Benicio del Toro as his the attorney?
I think.
Oh man, he is. You say something. That's right.
I have so many movies to watch after this.
Yep.
After this morning.
Oh, how sad for you.
Everybody, please go and make a list of all the movies we've talked about.
Oh yes, please.
So
I'm sure I would want to watch those.
Yeah,
as well.
there's a bunch that we've talked about that I've now forgotten about already, and I definitely want to go watch.
They'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, like after we briefly stopped by Vegas in on that road trip, I had wanted to go back ever since because it's weird because like I am a like non-drinking, non-gambling person, but like there's just something about that experience, and I think Graham perfectly encapsulated what Vegas is. It's America the ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
For everything
100%.
that implies, it's astounding.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't remember, or I don't know if you remember this, the morning of when we left the hotel, because like we were only there briefly.
Yeah. 20 hours.
We were headed out, and there's a roulette table in the lobby, and we were all like, we're in Vegas, we should place a bet. And everybody bet on red.
Yeah.
And I was like, always bet on black. And I was the
You were
only
the
one
one?
who lost. And
Oh, you lost?
Yeah, and
Oh.
the croupier like had looked so just like, oh, I'm sorry, and I was just like, it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
And I actually hold that as the example of why I will like never become addicted to gambling is because I have fucking miserable luck at games of chance, which I think I'm blessed with, because it's like, this is stupid. I'm just gonna shit away all my money for no reason.
Yeah.
Fuck it. But it was just really funny that like I had so pointedly lost like that. Just like $20 down the toilet to Vegas. We were there for shit. What was it? It was the GP 2017.
Yes. I mean, we were there for. I don't remember if that's the one. We were there in 2015 and 2017.
I was there in 2017.
Yeah.
I remember because like
Is that the year you and Graham went to
Yeah.
the gun range?
that was a weird experience.
Yeah.
Because like I was still like trying to get my anxiety problems like under wraps, and they would kind of like flare and so forth. The range we went to was very strange. Graham and I think we referenced recently that the place was like full of like profoundly racist paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Like they had, it's like they had patches. There was this like pork eating crusader.
Oh God.
You know, that kind of shit. And you're like, all the Mullen Labe garbage, and I was just like, it was certainly a weird experience. I definitely have had a better, I think, more responsible, more thoughtful time, you know, in my pursuing my interest of like military history and firearms. But like, that was a heck of a place to go. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything different. It's just like wild to be there in person.
Yeah.
So.
All right, friends. It is 7:56, which means Coffee with James and Alex this morning is wrapping up. Mm-hmm. Really quickly, we are running the Sub-A-Thon here for another at least 17 and a half hours. If you want to add more time to that clock, you can do so by either subbing or resubbing or gifting a sub or using your Prime sub. Every sub equals 1 minute, so if you sub to the channel, a minute will be added to this timer. If you gift 10 subs, 10 minutes will be added to the timer. You can also do so by giving bits. 400 bits or 400 bits will give you a minute, 800 bits will give you 2 minutes. That's how it works. We are capped. We will finish this either in sometime between 17 and a half hours from now or Saturday at around 2 p.m. if you cap us. We also do have a couple stretch goals if we do get capped. The stretch goals are if we hit the goal and we get 250 subs beyond the cap, on Saturday at the finale we'll have a pizza party. If we reach 500 subs, it will be a pizza and ice cream party. And if we reach 750 subs beyond the cap, it'll be pizza, ice cream, and water balloons out the windows at us below. We got to figure out how that's going to work, but it should be a lot of fun. So that's what's happening here for the rest of the day, because we are definitely going for at least, again, 17 hours. Graham and Paul are going to be playing a game called Waylay from Studio A coming up next. At 11 till 3 is party game day. So a bunch of people are going to be hanging out here playing, I think, Switch party games. At 3 o'clock until 7 is the second annual Okie Okie Fight Club tournament, with Adam hosting the festivities. So that's happening at 3 o'clock today. I think you can still sign up. If you want to sign up, they're playing Street Fighter 6. You can do so by going to the Discord at discord.gg/LRR and look in I think there's a dedicated channel for it, and you will find a sign-up page, so you can go do that. And then tonight at 7 o'clock, Ian is in here doing some Tinker Tailor for an hour. It's funny, it's like the one thing happening this week in its kind of regular time slot, which is kind of funny. Well, he's going to be cooking up some food of some sort. I can't remember exactly.
Porchetta?
Something like that. Something that's going to take like 72 hours to make.
Damn.
And
it's
then
probably going to be delicious.
Yeah, and then the plan is that we can eat it during the finale on Saturday. And then later tonight, from 8 until 10 is public domain movie night. So a bunch of people are going to be hanging out here again, watching a old movie. And then tonight at 10 o'clock, I think, until 2 a.m., Graham will be playing Elden Ring Seamless Co-op with himself, Adam, Ian, and Ben, our friend Ben Swallow. But yeah.
Ben is so enthusiastic about seamless co-op. It's really charming.
It's super fun to watch,
It's
too.
very fun.
It's a really neat experience. But yeah, that's going to do it. Alex, thanks for hanging out today.
Yeah, good.
I appreciate
Go back
you.
to sleep.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in after the
And
late
it's
night.
always a pleasure to get to...
You know, I think this is like maybe the first time that I have hung out with you for 2 hours, just us. I mean, there's like 1,000 people watching.
Yeah.
So like, it kind of is a bit different, but like, yeah, I was thinking about that last night while I was going to bed. I'm like, I don't think I've ever actually just hung out with Alex for 2
What a
hours,
pleasure.
just
Well,
us.
we'll have to do that again.
I agree.
You know what we should do is like I should take you and your wife to Noodles.
Hell yeah, I like noodles.
Yeah.
Noodles! All right, I'm gonna awkwardly leave so I can set the computer. So enjoy Alex crushing a can.
Hi. Oh. Now what?
All right, stay tuned.